You were not deceived because they were clever. You were deceived because you looked away. The lie did not enter through their mouth. It entered through the part of you that wanted peace, more than truth. By the time you noticed the inconsistency, the stutter in their story, the flash of contempt in their eyes, you had already signed a contract of silence with yourself. You had already agreed not to see it. This is not a tutorial on how to catch liars. This is an autopsy of why you were available to be lied to. Recall the last time you were betrayed. Go back to the micro moment before the reveal. You know that moment. A subtle fracture in the atmosphere, a tightening behind your eyes, a specific, cold pressure in the chest that doesn't belong to the words being spoken. In that moment, your body paused, not loudly, almost politely. You felt a microsecond of internal resistance, and then you overrode it. You smiled, you nodded, you filled the awkward silence to make them feel more comfortable while they were actively dismantling your reality. Later, alone, the realization arrives without drama. I knew. The collapse of a lie isn't always explosive. Often, it is quiet. It feels like suffocation rather than pain. That quiet suffocation is familiar to you, isn't it? You have lived in that vacuum longer than you care to admit. You have traded your gut feeling for social grace, and the predator in front of you felt the exact moment you abandoned your post. Carl Jung understood this pattern with lethal precision. What consciousness refuses to integrate does not disappear. It gains autonomy. It becomes a shadow. When you refuse to acknowledge your own capacity for suspicion, that suspicion doesn't go away. It just stops working for you and starts working for the person gaslighting you. The liar does not overpower you. They bypass you. Jordan Peterson frequently notes that lies warp the structure of reality itself. But look closer. Reality only warps where you agree to keep it stable at your own expense. Your nervous system is an ancient, high-resolution instrument. It detected the incongruence immediately. This part of you is older than language. It doesn't speak in sentences. It speaks in tension. Joe Navarro's work in nonverbal communication shows that deception leaks through the body. Timing, pacifying behaviors, the ventral denial of turning the torso away. But predators do not succeed because these signals are hidden. They succeed because these signals are socially expensive to acknowledge. Paul Ekman proved the face cannot fully mask truth. Micro-expressions, those 1/25th of a second flashes of genuine emotion, surface faster than social control. You saw the sneer, you saw the fear, and yet, you discarded the data. Why? Because you were trained to distrust your perception before you were ever taught to trust your judgment. The great illusion is that liars are external threats and you are merely an innocent observer. That is a comforting lie. It suggests you are a victim of circumstance rather than a participant in a psychic transaction. The real illusion is that ignoring discomfort makes you safe. Society profits from this blindness. Institutions require people who doubt themselves before they doubt the system. Power structures thrive on those who confuse politeness with virtue. If you can be shamed into being nice, you can be manipulated into being a doormat. Social harmony often depends on your silence. Your confusion is not a personal failure, it is a systemic design. You are not conditioned to see clearly, You were conditioned to cooperate. Here is the mechanism, stripped of ornament. The body registers. Your amygdala signals a mismatch. The vibe is off. The ego intervenes. To maintain the status quo, your ego whispers, "Don't be difficult. Don't misinterpret. If you call this out, you'll lose the connection." The suppression. You crush the intuition to preserve the identity of being a good person. The moment you suppress your perception, the liar senses permission. Predators are not fearless. They are hyper-observant. They watch where you hesitate. They test where you soften. They feel the exact millisecond you choose the lie over the discomfort of the truth. That moment of self-abandonment is their entry point. They don't break into your house. You leave the door unlatched because you're afraid the sound of the lock sliding home might be rude. Now, the mirror turns. Jung would insist you face this without flinching. The reason liars unsettle you so deeply is not because you lack darkness. It is because you refuse to own it. You possess predatory awareness. You have the same hardware as the person trying to deceive you. You notice shifts in dominance, tone, and intention, but you have moralized that awareness into something shameful. You call it judgmental. You call it paranoia. This moralization disarms you. Joe Navarro didn't survive high-stakes interrogations by being kind. He survived by being accurate. Accuracy is not cruelty. It is clarity. When you refuse to integrate your own sharp, biting perception, you project it outward. It becomes something that happens to you, rather than a tool that belongs to you. That exhaustion you feel after certain conversations, that isn't introversion. It's your system registering a massive incoherence between what was said and what was felt. It is the fatigue of holding up a lie for someone else. Your suffering is not evidence of a defect. It is evidence of sensitivity without sovereignty. You were given a high-resolution instrument, your intuition, and then you were gaslit by a culture that values getting along over seeing truth. Your anxiety is often just your intelligence, trying to tell you that you're in a room full of ghosts. So, how do you change? It isn't through aggressive confrontation. It isn't through detective work. It is a shift in belief allocation. You stop granting trust reflexively. Trust is not a right. It is a result of consistent, low-entropy behavior over time. Stop explaining. You don't need to justify why you feel uneasy. Stop rescuing. When a liar creates a tension-filled silence, let it sit. Do not jump in to smooth things over. Slow down. Predators rely on momentum. They need you to decide now. When you remove momentum, the structural integrity of a lie begins to buckle. If you allow silence to expand, the liar will eventually start performing. They will over-explain. They will provide details you didn't ask for. They will become hyper-vocal. Deception is high maintenance. Truth is low effort. This is not a strategy you use. It is a stance you are. A sovereign stance means you stop negotiating with your inner signals. If your stomach turns, the conversation is over, even if your mouth is still moving. Awkwardness becomes your filter. Distance becomes your discernment. Most people will expose themselves without you saying a single word. You don't need to unmask them. You just need to stop holding the mask up for them. True protection does not come from learning the signs. It comes from restoring alignment between your perception, your identity, and your behavior. When these three are one, manipulation loses its traction. It has nothing to hook into. Ancient initiatory traditions understood this. They didn't argue with deceivers. They simply withdrew access. No intimacy, no disclosure, no energy. Truth was not something they defended with logic. It was something they embodied. That embodiment is the definition of modern sovereignty. Here's the truth most people will not tolerate. No method for spotting liars works if your identity depends on their approval. If you need harmony, you will accept distortion. If you need to be liked, you will forgive incongruence. If you need to appear good, you will rationalize your own betrayal. Seeing clearly requires the willingness to stand alone, without explanation, in a room full of people who think you are the problem. Your task is simple, and it will be the most uncomfortable thing you do this year. For the next 7 days, when your body signals a contraction, a no, a wait, a something's wrong, do nothing. Do not justify it. Do not interpret it. Do not accuse the other person. Simply withdraw your belief. Reduce your engagement. Observe. Notice who grows restless when they can no longer read you. Notice who applies pressure when you stop being agreeable. Notice who starts performing harder to regain your attention. You are not hunting liars. You are watching who cannot tolerate your clarity. This path is not for the agreeable. It is for those who choose perception over permission. It is for those who would rather lose access to a social circle than lose access to themselves. If this resonates, you already understand the weight of what I'm saying. Proceed only if you are willing to see, and more importantly, remain standing once you do. The predator's greatest vulnerability has never been exposure. It has always been the moment you stop lying to yourself.